Here's the brutal truth. Most people who try to buy an online business to replace their income get it completely wrong. They think if I just buy one business and it's making 10 grand a month, I'm absolutely set. Or worse, they spread themselves across 5 little businesses and just burn out trying to juggle them all. And then what happens? They either overpay, underestimate the risk, or can't actually run the businesses. And they end up losing the very income they were trying to replace. So I'm going to break down how many online businesses you actually need to replace a $10,000 per month income. We're going to go through the real math, the risks, the strategies, and what no one tells you about actually scaling safely. And at the end, I'm going to share with you one dangerous mindset that I see new buyers fall into that kills their chances of financial freedom before they even start. Firstly, setting the stage. Why do you want to be earning $10,000 a month? Why is that the target? Well, typically, this is the number that most people refer to because it covers lifestyle, flexibility, financial security, and freedom. But it doesn't need to be $10,000 for you. It can be less, it could be more. But hitting 10K a month from a business is not as simple as it looks on a brokered listing. Yeah, a business that's up for sale. It's just doesn't, 10K a month is not as simple as it looks. The reason I say this is because income does not equal profit and revenue does not equal cash flow. You need to think in net profit after expenses, taxes, and potential downturns. Because let's be real, $10,000 a month gross that costs you $9,500 in expenses, that's not replacing your income. That's just a really stressful way to make $500 per month. The second part is that the single big business approach. Now, that's option one, right? Buy one business making $10,000 a month net profit. Now, I typically advise people to buy one larger business because it's less stress and it's typically easier, and it's better to buy a bigger business because it's typically far more stable. Obviously, that's very general statements. Each business has its own risk tolerance, as do you. So you need to have the right advisor to advise you on what the right strategy is for you. But buying one business that's making 10 grand a month, the pros are it's focused, it's simple, all your energy goes into one thing, which is what I like to talk about. The con of it is that, you've got some risk concentration. And if it doesn't go so well, you're not going so well because you've got most of your asset and money tied up in that business. I still believe that a bigger business is typically a better business on general terms because it's going to have a far better foundation. But I'll give you an example. There's people that pick up content sites and they're making $12,000 a month. They look good, but Google updates hits and the traffic drops and 40% of the income's gone. I was looking at a 7-figure blog only 2 weeks ago, put an offer on it, and then between LOI and then getting to due diligence, we realized the traffic dropped a significant amount, about 30%, and we walked away from the deal. The lesson here is that one business can work, but only if you've got the risk tolerance and a backup plan. If it's high reward, but high exposure. So this is depending on what sort of income you have, cash you have, and other assets that you have that can protect you, or if you want to go aggressive or less aggressive, depending on where you're at a certain time in your life. So you need to understand that as well. Now, then we have, instead of the one business, we have the portfolio approach, which is option number 2, buying multiple smaller businesses that add up to the $10,000 a month range. For an example, you could buy 3 blogs making $3.5 grand each, or 5 websites making $2 grand each. Now, the pros are that yes, you have diversification. If one site doesn't do so well, you've still got income. The cons are that's far more complexity. There's more moving parts. It's harder to manage. Typically, what I like to say is what I learned from a wealth mentor is that if you want growth, you need concentration. If you want preservation, you need diversification. So here's an angle. It's kind of like dating 3 people at once. It sounds fun until you realize they all need your attention at the same time. Another example is that if somebody buys 4 drop shipping stores individually, but they're managing ads, supplies, customer service for each, it becomes an absolute nightmare and income can plateau. You can burn out a lot faster than just with one business as well. Portfolio can work if you've got the right systems, if you've got the right team, and you've got the right mindset. If not, it will just chew you up and spit you out. I've been there. I bought 3 businesses in 3 years. And what I realized is that from the business I was making more money from is I put more of my time, effort, and energy into that, and I neglected the other businesses, which was a mistake. I did have the opportunity to start systemizing those other 2 businesses and putting more team in place with growth strategies that ran without company before putting more of my time into the most successful business. And so something I learned in hindsight, something I teach, something I help people that are building a portfolio as well. I build out these holding companies for people, but we need to have things in place before we go away and acquire the next one. So that's very, very important. And then you have the hybrid reality, the hybrid approach. And the truth is that most successful buyers don't just do one or just many. They build this hybrid approach, and that's what to likely do for yourself is build out this hybrid approach, because you need to work out, it might change for you. Buying one business at the start might be good, buying two businesses at the start might be good, and it will change over time the more you learn about this space. An example is you can buy one solid, stable business doing $6,000 a month, and then you can buy two smaller businesses doing $2,000 a month. And this spreads the risk, but also gives you focus on that larger business and allows scaling without total, dependency. Think of it like a core plus satellites. Your core business pays the bills, and then you got some satellite income to diversify, and you got upside there. It could look like that you buy one larger business and one smaller business, or you buy one smaller business to start off with and then one larger business. Typically though, if you're going to do this, I stress, if you're going to buy a smaller business first before you'll buy a larger business, this is what people call dipping the toe in. Experience you have of buying a smaller business is not going to be the same that you have as buying a larger business. Say for example, if you buy a smaller business, say $50,000, and it's making $25,000 a month, $25,000 net profit a year. To run that business, you're going to have a lot more work involved, and you're going to have less resources to reinvest into the business, and you're going to be able to afford less team and support for that smaller business. Now, say you go away and buy a larger business at $500,000 that's making, for example, $250,000 net profit per year. You have far more flexibility. You're far less stressed. If challenges do pop up, you don't need to necessarily pour your time into it and work out how to fix it, especially with being inexperienced in it. You can hire somebody to do that because you got the income to do so. You can hire a team. You can give yourself far more space and time. So just be wary that when you buy smaller businesses, it's going to be far more time intensive and provide you less income. You buy larger businesses, it provides you more income, but you do have the risk tolerance of one asset, but you've got the focus. Personally, for me, I prefer one larger asset, and then maybe if you're wanting to diversify and preserve your wealth, buying some smaller assets. Another way you can do this is buy one larger asset and in the online business space. And then maybe you take some cash out of the business and diversify by buying real estate, which is what I like to do, or buying into ETFs or other sort of assets as well. So how would I do it if I was going to start from scratch? Personally, my favorite, like I've mentioned, is buying just one larger business, because focus is very, very valuable and very, very important. And if you don't have $300K to buy a business that's making $10,000 per month, you can start smaller. Buy a business with whatever you can afford, and then build up whilst working towards, larger income. And maybe you've got two income streams, your business that you've bought, that income from that you're saving. And then you've got your income stream from your job as well. You can save that money, and then you could eventually pull that money together and sell that business that you've got, and then buy a larger one, and then grow that on your way up to the $10,000 a month range. And maybe you're just buying more businesses and leapfrogging. For example, maybe you start with a business that is $100,000 and is making $50,000 a year net profit, and you save, for example, $30,000 from that per year, and then another $30,000 from your savings, and then you put your 60K that you've saved over maybe 2 years, so that's 120 grand, plus whatever you sell the business for. Say you sell the business for 200 grand, then you've got your 200 plus your 120, so you've got 320 grand there, and you can buy a larger business, and that larger business might be making 150 grand a year, for example. Okay, and then you build that up and do that again and again and again till you get to your price range that you want. 150 grand a year is pretty good though. That's over the 10 grand a month range typically. And that's how I would start out from scratch if I was going to do that. But there is a caveat. You need to factor in some risks and have a safety net. If you're aiming to have $10,000 a month in income, don't just aim for $10,000 a month on paper. Aim for a business that's in income that is 12 to 15 grand a month. So then you've got a buffer for downturns, seasonality, algorithm changes. You've also got a buffer for taxes, reinvesting into the business, team costs, all of that eat into that number. So if you're getting 10 grand per month from the business, net profit, you still got taxes and reinvestment into the business that you need to make. So maybe it's worth looking and setting the bar a little bit higher, so then you can draw 10 grand a month from the business actually after all the expenses. An example is a business making $8,000 a month after taxes, marketing, reinvestment. You may only see 5 grand a month. So it's a big shock if you don't actually be realistic about the numbers you need. The goal here is obviously not to you don't just want to replace your income with numbers. You want to replace it with stability. And sure, investing is all about the numbers, but remember, the goal isn't to invest and buy a business as well. That's the actual vehicle, and the goal should be less stress and a better life. So let's talk about some common mistakes people actually make on this path, right? Because we can sometimes lose the forest from the trees. So the number one big mistake people do make is falling in love with the deal, okay? And I see this all the time. People typically see a business for sale. It's on a brokered listing on a website, and it's a business that costs 300K and it's making 100 grand in income, net profit per year. And they picture themselves living that lifestyle where they're making 100 grand per year, and maybe they're not working. Maybe they're able to travel. Maybe they're able to spend more time with their family. And they build out this dream. And this is a massive mistake because you ignore the red flags, okay? And it's people just see the numbers and then go into a dream state and the dream phase. And this can just allow you to put your blinkers and your blinders on, and you miss out on so many risks. And this is why you need a good advisor, right? To be looking at the business with you. Please, please, please don't get into falling in love with the deal and just dream about what your life would look like if you owned it. The next biggest mistake is overestimating your own skills, okay? Thinking, okay, this is a business that is a cheaper business and I've got a time on my hands, but it's a fixer-upper and it's got a lot of opportunity. Yeah, there's risk, but it's cheap. And there's also a lot of upside potential, and you going into the mode of thinking I can fix anything. Now that's just yuck, disgusting. Even the pros cannot fix everything. So we need to be realistic. Don't just try and buy opportunity alone, because there's opportunity in absolutely everything. If everything has infinite opportunity, why don't we buy something with the least amount of risk and something that I like to typically buy something that I can hire skills and I can hire a team to fix things without me trying to learn a whole career on, say, SEO or digital marketing or whatever part is needed to operate the business. I can just hire somebody that's got that whole career to do that work for me. And it might be a one-time job and it might be an ongoing job that allows the business to earn a lot more money. So don't overestimate your skills. Be realistic with where you're at and your time. Another big common mistake is people underestimating the risk. Diversification can be a buffer, but also a risk if you're going to split your resources between too many things. Like I said, I've been there before, and splitting my time resources did not work. It went into one thing that was working really well, and I neglected 2 other things, and they just fell by the wayside. My mistake, I learned from it, and this is why I'm here to teach you. Another massive common mistake is people just going too fast, right? Trying to just run or sprint when they should be jogging, and then not realizing that they're sprinting too early and missing the mark. Maybe they should be jogging at the start and then sprinting. Trying to go too fast by chasing multiple deals before nailing one and getting it right. So don't buy, like I said before, don't buy before you automate. I was that guy. I was that hare that just ran off and chased things, and I've learned the hard way. And that's typically my strategy in life, is just run at something and just go all in at it. And I've learned the hard way multiple times that I need to sit back, become more methodical about it, and learn when I should walk, run, jog, and sprint. And that's what I want you to understand as well. So what's the dangerous mindset that people have is that the number one trap I see buyers fall into is they focus on the number, not the business. They focus just on the numbers. They get so obsessed with hitting that $10,000 a month range, whatever your number is, and they'll buy whatever gets them there the fastest, even if it's unsustainable, non-evergreen, a business model that doesn't suit their lifestyle, or it's just completely outside of their skill set. So replacing your income isn't about the number alone. It's about buying the right business you can actually run, scale, and rely on long term. Please, 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 guys, don't just think about the numbers. Don't just start dreaming about what your life's going to look like. Is get the business right. If you get the business right, the income will follow. And chasing the income without the right business is just a lose-lose for everybody. In essence, how many businesses do you really need to replace your income and make 10 grand a month? The honest answer is it depends on your risk tolerance, your skills, and your strategy. One business can do it, a portfolio can do it, but neither will work if you buy the wrong businesses. Be smart, be patient, build your portfolio around stability first and growth second. Play just as much defense as offense. And if you need help, go away. There'll be a link in the description. Check out my due diligence framework. It takes the guesswork out of buying businesses. It's free. It's what I use. It's what my clients use. It's made millions of dollars and saved people millions of dollars. You can get it for free. Or if you're looking at buying something a lot larger, say in the 500K range or above, reach out. I do work as a buy-side advisor where I go away and find the business for you, due diligence, and advise on structures, negotiations, help you with lawyers and all that sort of thing. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments. You can reach out if they're more personal via email. I'm here for you all the way, guys. All I want is the best for you, and I want to help you replace your income and build yourself an amazing lifestyle. That's the main thing. I don't care about you just making money and replacing your income. As long as you make your life better, less stressful, and more fun, that's what I'm here for. Speak to you soon.